evening. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to get us kicked off with just something that I wanted to kind of touch base about, really. We've kind of segued straight from the hamper promotion, which I think was a massively successful promotion. Hi, everybody. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the gang. Just before I do get started, everybody, if you could mute yourselves for me, that would be brilliant. It would just minimize any background noise or interference or whatever. Any problems with that, just stick your hand up or whatever and I'll do it for you. But yeah, Chris, don't distract me. So I'm really excited, not only because we're into December and it's one of my favorite times of the year, but just come off the back of probably one of the most successful promotions the company has ever run. The hamper promotion has proved to be absolutely astounding from every aspect. We've had, I don't know if you've seen the post that Derek has been posting up lately. We've had another amazing record month in the company, and we just seem to be flying. And then with the advent of all the energy regulations and all that gubbins and bumps that's happening later in the month, and at the end of this month and into next year, we could not be more perfectly placed to just take the world by storm. And let's face it, why on earth wouldn't we? You know, let's do it. Let's make the most of this. So I'm really excited that they brought us on a new promotion. We've segued straight from the hamper promotion onto the Epson racecourse promotion. And I was excited about hamper. Let's face it, am I ever going to spend £500 or £300 on a Fortnum & Mason hamper for myself for Christmas? No, not a hope. Would I like one? Hell yeah. And that really got me motivated. But am I ever realistically likely to take myself off to the Epsom Derby for fun with my hubby and get free drink and free food and free betting money, more to the point, without just, you know, just for fun? Am I ever likely to get any other opportunity to do that? I absolutely do not think so. And this one really, personally, it really floats my boat. And I hope it does for you guys too, because we are all perfectly placed to make the most of this and to be there. There's no reason why we shouldn't. So what I wanted to do tonight is just touch on the new Derby promotion, have a bit of a chinwag about that, what it involves, and just a couple of the details around the background of it. And then I also wanted to just have a little bit of a look about what we can do to make sure we're on track for it, we get moving, and we all hit target for it, and you know, make sure we get it. So yeah, if you've got a pen and paper to hand, that would be great. I am sure that there will hopefully be some notes that you can make the most of, hopefully, and look back on. So the key details. I hope you've all been on your partner portal and got the relevant information. But basically, we're going to Epsom Racecourse for the Derby on Saturday, the 1st of June 2019. Oh my God. And if for any of you out there that haven't parted UW style before, then seriously, you absolutely need to get there. Free food, free picnic hampers, yourself and a partner, or a +1, whoever you want that to be. It will be unlimited free drink throughout the day, which the unlimited bit for me got me quite excited. Not that I'm an alkie, of course, but, you know, it's a party, and why wouldn't you? Plus the opportunity to get really dressed up. I might even have to go buy myself a new frock for it. Not to mention the hat, but, you know, that's a whole different thing. Anyway, going back to this, free picnic hampers, unlimited free drink, and even some betting money. They're even going to throw in £75 worth of travel expenses per couple. Hopefully that'll sort out the train fares so we can all get the train there and back. But for just 15 points more than your target, they'll also include a hotel room for the Saturday night with dinner, bed and breakfast, as well as transport there and back to the hotel, so that you can leave your car at the hotel if you wanted to drive. Seriously, how much more of an amazing experience could this be? So, okay, why wouldn't you go for it? Well, I can't think of the reasons why you would want to go for it, and what we need to do to get it. So, I don't know how many of you have followed all the info on the partner portal, but basically the details are, it runs from the 1st of December, i.e. yesterday, to 15th of March. And for those of you that don't know, 15th of March is Express Day weekend, okay? So this is the big date in our diary. This is the big weekend for us. So if you're going for this, you know, it's just another reason to make sure you're at Express Day, because there's going to be some big partying happen around this, I expect. So the details are not dissimilar. The personal targets are not dissimilar to those for the hamper. If you won a hamper, then your target is simply to gain the same number of holiday points as you achieved during the hamper promotion. So if your hamper promotion was, for example, 40 points, but you actually smashed it and you got 70 points, then your target going forward is going to be 70, because ultimately it's about improving the activity we're doing and remaining consistent. So if you've done enough activity to get 70 hamper points, then you buy Jingo, you can absolutely do it again, plus a smidge extra, and you're going to get that holiday, that evening accommodation as well. So it's all about building consistency in our businesses, and I cannot think of a better way of doing it, really. This is just perfect, and of course it's relevant to everybody. So as I say, if you want a hamper, if you've got a hamper, you just need to do the same as you did before, plus a little bit more if you want the accommodation, okay? If you didn't win a hamper and you joined before MAD in September 2018, then your target is still exactly the same. It hasn't changed, okay? So you just need to do whatever it was you were aiming towards, but this time you need to hit it. You need to get it, okay? So no excuses. We need to put plans in place to make sure you get it, because I want everybody to be at this Derby Day. Now, if you didn't win a hamper and you joined after MAD Day, then your target is to earn 15 points. A whole 15 points, or 30 if you want the accommodation as well. So 15 points is essentially 4 Duffy customers, okay? How easy is that? How, you know, it's totally doable. So for any newbies that came on board, you know, anybody that is going for it or joins us, they can still get involved as well. Now, they've also put a note on as well, which I need to talk to Lloyd and drill down on the detail of. But they also said, and to make it even easier to earn the holiday points you need, we will be including bonus points in respect of new partners recruited from the 1st of December, yesterday, who achieved promotion to qualified distributor by midnight on the 15th of March. Doesn't tell me what those bonus points are going to be. I'd like to know that personally, but I'm sure we can find out that detail, and I'm sure it'll become really clear. But again, it's about getting out there and building the team and you know, getting onto it and just, you know, working with people and doing what we do best: show the business, show the customer side of things, and let people make that decision for themselves, work out what's best for them. So as usual, I've been on the partner portal tonight. My tracker is not yet there, but they have said that it will arrive at some point later in the week. So if you haven't seen it yet, don't stress too much. But your hamper one will disappear, and your new one will arrive at some point in the not too distant future. So just keep an eye out for that, and that will clarify your exact points if you've got any queries around what your target is going to be. I would also recommend reading the small print and the FAQs on the information on the partner portal, because as always there are some small technical details that you need to be aware of in terms of your tenant numbers and also your customers still live at the end of the period. And the last thing I want is for somebody to be really going for this and also then to find that they're not going to get the rewards at the end of it on a technicality. They've perhaps slipped over 52% tenant instead of 50 or whatever. Just make sure you're aware of it, and you can then work towards it. It's that simple. So how are we going to do it? How are we all going to get ourselves to the Epson Derby on the 1st of June? So there's a few key things that I would recommend. Firstly, get organised, okay? Plan your week every Sunday night. I do my best to sit down every Sunday night after this call and just work out my diary for the week. I highlight it. I've taken on Derek's tactic of highlighting different things. I've got my personal stuff is in pink, and my UW stuff is in yellow, and my exercise stuff is in blue, and however works for you. I'm a paper diary kind of girl, but plan your week, plan the slots that you've got available, because this business is a part-time business. This business is a nooks and crannies kind of business. So you want to be filling it in around everything else that's going on. But unless you plan it, when you've got those pockets of time, you're going to sit there and go, brilliant, I got 10 minutes to do something. I haven't planned it, therefore I've got no idea what it is I'm going to do. So if you make a point of sitting down at the beginning of the week and planning your diary, planning the slots that you've got available to talk to people or to make phone calls or to do appointments or to do WAMs or any form of activity, then your week is going to be a million times more productive. Okay, so just get organized. And then, but don't just plan your week, plan your month. Okay, and then plan roughly what you want to be doing. Okay, during the course of the month. It may be that you've got a lot of social engagements. For example, this last month, my son's birthday on the 29th, and my last week has just been an absolute write-off for one thing and another. Up until about 3 hours ago, my week has just been completely family oriented, and I've just had no space. But I knew about that in advance. I could plan for that in advance. So know what your restrictions are in the month coming ahead and work to them. Make sure that you're in control of what it is that you've got coming up. Okay. Also, another great thing that we can do under this title of getting organized is to make sure that our follow-up system and our know for now systems, and they're going to be slightly different for everybody, but make sure your system is up to date and accurate and ready to just kick into touch and just working as effectively as it can be. Okay, the know for nows, the past appointments that are making decisions, people you've got to call back or whatever they are, but those we all know are a massive part of our business. Okay, so it's crucially important that we make notes on all the appointments that we've done or people we've called or people we've spoken to, and then when we've got to follow up on them as well. When are we going to be giving them a call? Have we got a reminder to do this little bit of a job for them, or did they ask us a question that we need to follow up on? Make sure that we are doing the know for now systems, or that could be a know for now book. It could be using the LA CRM system. Now, Peter, I notice you've raised a hand. Tina's at a wedding, but yeah, somebody raised a hand. Let me just close that bit down. It's going to distract me. So anyway, yeah, if you've got any questions, we can go through them at the end, I suppose, or drop me a message afterwards. So yeah, the know for now systems, just make sure your system, however it's working best for you, is up to speed and on top of it. Now, I'll be completely honest, I've fallen a little bit behind. I use the LA CRM system, which personally I cannot recommend highly enough. It's a CRM system, customer relationship management system, and I just log all of my calls, any contact I have to do with anybody within my business, whether it be a customer or distributor or somebody a contact that I'm trying to work with. I will log all of my stuff on there. And that really, then I can set reminders, stuff I've got to do, and so many different things. And it's fantastic. And for me, because life is just crazy, it really makes a big difference to me. But I haven't been as hot on that as I could be. And one of my big things over this next couple of weeks is to make sure that really brings up to date and make sure that I'm on it with everything that I need to be doing to get that as effective as it can be. So whatever it is, whether you'll be setting reminders in your phone or writing them in your diary or using the LA CRM and looking at it on a daily basis, make sure you use it. Make sure you fill it in. Make sure you add the information to it, because a CRM system doesn't work by itself. It's not magic. You've got to put the information in, okay? You've got to put stuff in to get something out. Same with anything. Same with the whole business, really. But make sure you're using it and doing it effectively. Number 2, because I've whittled on about that one enough, is really just have some focus. Break your goals down, okay? Focus on what we want to achieve, and hopefully what you want to achieve is the Epson Derby Day. Brilliant. So what's your goal? Have a look at it. We've got 3.5 months to really make it rock and roll, but please do not do what a large portion of people do and just leave it to the last minute. That's not what it's all about. Get it done, get it sorted, get your business moving forward, and then you can go with the next challenge. Because come January, I don't know what's going to happen, but there may well be some form of new announcement or something that we want to take hold of. So if you know that you've got this done and in the bag and sorted, then you can focus on the next thing and focus on the next target and the next goal. It may be that you're looking for a promotion before Express Day, or you're looking for a plus club or whatever before Express Day. Get this done. get it out the way, and then you can move on to the next one ASAP. But break it down. So if you've got a goal, you've got your target of points that we need to get. So if you're going to be setting it, doing it over, say you want it done by the end of February, break it down, divide it by 3. How many do you need to be getting in a month? And break that down again. How many do you need to be getting in a week? And break that down again. So if you need to be getting in 10 points a week, for example, then what are you going to do? What does that 10 points look like to you? Is that 2 DEFI golds and an ID? Is that 3 DEFI golds and you get a little bit extra, so you do slightly less the next week? What's your focus? But then equally, you need to then work it backwards. So if you say you want to get 2 DEFIs and an ID to get you 10 points in a week, then that is how many appointments do you need to do in order to get those? If your ratio of successful appointments is, say, 1 in 3, which is quite a standard average, then do you need to be doing 9 appointments in a week to get 3 successful signups? So therefore, break it down again. If you know you've got to do 9 appointments, you need to be looking at finding those slots and finding those times. But you also need to be making enough phone calls that you're getting those 9 appointments. So how many phone calls do you need to make a week to get those 9 appointments in, to get those 3 signups in, to keep you on track and keep you on your weekly target? If you do a weekly or daily target, life becomes so much simpler than if you do a monthly target, because you'll spend the first 2 weeks going, brilliant, I got loads of time, it's fab, I'll just go make another cup of tea, and I'll procrastinate about this, and I'll put off doing that, and I'll ring them tomorrow. And then you get to 10 days before the end of the month and you go, oh, I've got this much to do, and you're on a back foot and you start panicking then. Okay, we've all done it. We've all been there. So make sure you get focused, break down your goals, set yourself a small daily target and work towards your small daily target, whether that be I need to make 5 phone calls a day, 10 phone calls a day to get the 9 appointments a week. And just focus on those small targets, because you can bet your bottom dollar that the results at the back end will fall out all by themselves. You don't need to worry about them. Just do the little bits at the beginning, little tiny targets, and the rest will fall out. So as a result of that planning and that focus and breaking down your goals, you're going to be filling your diaries with appointments. And that has to start now. Don't be stressing about the fact that it's December. That's an even better time to get out and talk to people. Okay, just fill your diaries with appointments. That must start now. Don't wait. Don't waste any time. We're 2 days in already, and I'm annoyed that I've had a lovely time with my family, don't get me wrong, but I haven't got any points in yet, and that irks me somewhat. So I need to get moving. I need to get doing it as well. So fill your diaries with appointments and just get out and get talking to people in exactly the same way you would normally do, but more. But just rank it up a notch. If you're not happy with what you got in the last 3 months, then make sure you do a little bit more to make a difference and change it for the next 3 months, okay? Because you're the one that's in control of that. And now's the perfect time to get started. You can employ Gemma Doyle's 3-foot approach. If they're in 3 feet of you, they're having it. Whatever you can find to talk to them about, talk to them about it, and find out and really get good at talking to people and approaching everybody we talk to, because that's where the real success will lie, in the tiny little bits and bobs that you do. I've got down here as well to make sure that we're really making the most of the tools that we've got available to us. We've got WAMs, we've got neighbor letters, we've got magazines, we've got the new Simple Money presentation, which, oh my God, is insane. It's incredible. We're seeing so many success stories come out from that new Simple Money presentation. I've got so many colleagues and team members who are doing astounding results with this neighbor letters and just getting out there. But also get good at telling stories. The stories are really, really what people will relate to. Okay, so think about things that are positive things that happen to you. If you've just qualified for the hamper, then tell the story of you qualifying for the hamper. You know, find ways of talking to people in stories, whether that's something that you've done or something that one of your colleagues or something you heard. Doesn't matter, beg, borrow, steal it. They don't have to know. Just get good at telling stories, because that's when people will really respond to you. You know, tell the story of how much cash back you've earned on your bill and how much that's reduced off your bill. Get good at telling people about the hamper that you won, or holiday promotions that you won. You've just qualified to go to Rome. or even just kind of customer stories and experiences that you've had that have been really positive. For example, I had a customer recently who hadn't been automatically switched on to the next tariff, or hadn't had the email for the fixed tariff. So I spoke to head office. He sent me an email. I spoke to head office. I sorted it all out for him. And I went back to him and said, here you go, job done. It's all sorted. And by the way, they're going to give you a rebate for what they should have paid you in the first place, or what you would have saved rather in the first place. And he was cock-a-hoop about that. So I tell that story to all the new people that have got queries or questions about the energy side of things. I tell that quite regularly because it's relevant. So pick up little stories, keep your ears to the ground. When you're talking to people in the business, steal their stories and don't be afraid to share it. We regularly share the story of Derek Thomas, who many of you will probably know, SGL in Cardiff, heading for NGL at a rate of knots. And he's a head teacher. He was a head teacher, I apologise. And he worked this business very part-time. He fitted it in around a busy lifestyle of being a head teacher. But he retired at 51 because he was getting paid more from this business than he was from the education authority. At 51, he retired 16 years early. And that's a really, really powerful story. And chances are he probably could have retired a whole lot earlier if his wife hadn't got used to spending both incomes. But, you know, these things happen, and that's entirely up to them. But tell the stories. Get good at telling whatever stories you can find, and that will make a significant difference to your business. So I've said about starting now, getting on with it, filling that diary with appointments from today, from tomorrow, from this week. Make sure you get out there and get on with it. Don't let life get in the way. You know, don't let Christmas be an excuse. It doesn't need to be. There's still loads and loads of people out there that we can get on and talk to. But make sure you get out there and get started now. But equally, on the flip side of that, I'm a busy family woman. I've got 3 small kids. For me, I find it massively, massively important to also schedule into my diary, when I'm planning my diary at the end of the week, the times that I'm going to switch off, the times that I'm going to go, you know what, actually my phone's off to one side. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to go and spend an hour, half an hour, or whatever it is with my kids. Or I'm going to take the evening off, or like I've done this weekend, take the weekend off because it's my son's birthday and we're having Christmas weekend and all sorts of other things. So schedule in the time that you can switch off and the time that you can be with your family, because then you don't feel guilty about it. You've worked the rest of your time around it. You've done all the things you can do in the time you had available, and now you're enjoying your family time off. And that's massively important. And that's one of the real things about this business, really, is that we have the flexibility to spend time with our families. We just have to make sure that we make the most of it. So the other kind of really skill aspect that I wanted to touch on is something that can really, really come into its own during the festive season. I've touched on the fact that it's Christmas. We're into December now. Let's face it, there's no getting away from it. But the festive season is really a perfect time for you to get practicing the skill of form. I hope that a lot of you will know about it. For form is an acronym. It stands for, the F stands for family, the O stands for occupational, the R is for recreational, and M is for message. Okay. Now, this is really just a technique to get good at talking to people, but equally to get good at listening. It's all about asking the right questions and listening, and then asking some more questions and listening. Ultimately, we want to be finding people's hot spots. We want to be finding people's hot buttons. Okay. What is it that makes them tick? What is it that they're not happy with? What is it that they want to change in their lives going forward? And this is really, really, really key information, because if we can then say to them, you know how you told me that you haven't been on holiday for 6 years and you would love to take the kids away? I might have something I can help you with that. Let's meet up for coffee and I'll tell you more. It may or may not be for you, but until we have a chat, you're not going to know. And, you know, little things like that can make a massive, massive difference. And this is where the really successful people in their business are really nailing it. This is where they're really getting good at it. So what we want to be doing over the festive season is making the most of it, because we're all going to be out at a lot more social events. Well, I know I certainly am going to be out at a lot more social events than I would normally be. But equally, a lot of those social events aren't necessarily the right opportunity to deliver the message. So what we've got to get doing is really get good at asking the questions, asking them loads of stuff about their family, ask them about their occupation, Ask them about what they do in their spare time, or what their kids do in their spare time, or, you know, how do they, what's their recreational stuff? Have they got any sports? Are they members of any teams? And then find out and just keep digging. But equally, get good at shutting up and listening. They do say that an acronym of listen is silent. And perhaps I need to take that on board a little bit as well, because I've got a terrible habit of wanting to fill the silences, of wanting to finish people's sentences for them. But actually, don't really resist the temptation to fill their silences or to finish their sentences. Let them do it for themselves, and just nod and just be interested in what they're telling you, as opposed to trying to be interesting about what you're telling them. Okay, because if you can find out from something from people and then feed it back to them, they're going to believe what you're saying. But if you tell them something just off the bat, it's going to mean nothing to them. Okay, and we can't assume that we know what their hot buttons are. Just because they're over 60 doesn't mean that a pension is the important thing for them. Okay, or just because they're a single mum doesn't mean that they want to stay home working forever, or that they don't want to go back to the office. You know, everybody is different. So we've got to get good at listening, get good at asking questions. And the key to asking those questions is to be open questions. What, how, when, where, who, why, you know, all of these different things. Where are you going on holiday? What have you got planned for Christmas? Who are you going to be spending Christmas with? You know, what are you going to be up to for New Year? Are you going anywhere nice? You know, ask all these different things. Are you going away for Christmas this year? Or anything that you can think of to really start finding out what makes their gears grind. And you will be amazed at how much people will start telling you once given the opportunity to do so. They love talking about themselves. We all do. It's human nature. So just really get good at it. But remember that actually it may not be necessarily right for you to deliver the message at that time. If you're at a Christmas party, you've had 3 bottles of wine and you've been told all sorts of juicy gossip, you're not necessarily perfectly primed to say, you know what, I've got something I might be able to help you with that, because they're not likely to remember, they're not likely to do all, you know, to be able to focus or whatever. So just file that information away. And what we've got to get good at then, it comes back to the systems that I was talking about earlier, the note-taking systems. You've got to get good at coming home or writing details in your phone that says, this person said this, that, and the other. I had this conversation with them about this. I'm going to follow up on this stage. I'm maybe going to send them a text on this date saying this, 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 and this. And then obviously do what it is that you said that you're going to do. But get good at asking them, as I say, the form about the family, about their friends, and asking them what they do for a living and whether they enjoy it. That's a really good one. You want to get them moaning, basically. So, oh, wow, you must really enjoy that. That must be really interesting, with a smile. And then you shut up, and then they just start. They're off. Then you can't shut them up. But it's amazing what you can pick up. Ask them about what their recreation is. But you can really find people's passions coming out when they start talking about their recreations. They may have sports that they're incredibly passionate about, or whatever else. So get good at asking the first 3 bits, but also get good at not delivering the message yet. Pick your times. Don't necessarily even say anything about the utility warehouse at all. Just put the information away, and then you can follow up at a time convenient to yourself when you're in control of the situation, and they're not going to plug you for information or, you know, ask you loads of questions that you don't want to be answering there and then because you can't get away. So make the most of this festive season, everybody. And even if you're not necessarily going out to many social events, then use it as a great excuse to reignite with people you've not touched base with for a long time. What better time of year than to say to somebody, you know what, I was thinking about you the other day and I just wanted to say Merry Christmas. It's been so long. How the devil are you? What's going on? You know, people kind of expect it at this time of the year. So make the most of the opportunity to use the festive season as an excuse to just build those contacts, reignite contacts. And don't take your foot off the pedal. Okay, it's very easily done, but just get on with it and get moving forward as soon as possible, because Epsom is going to be epic. Epic Epsom is what I think we should call it. Epic Epsom Derby. It's going to be fantastic, and I would love to see as many of you there as possible, because we can all totally achieve it, and we can get drunk together, and we can eat lots of food, and we can party and dress up posh and all the rest of it, and it's going to be amazing. So there, for those of you that are in Lloyd's team as well, just before I finish, I don't know if you've seen, but Lloyd has started a challenge. He's got a Facebook group going on, a WhatsApp group going on, the Epsom Xmas Extravaganza, which is all about collecting extra points. And he's offering a spa weekend for the people who get the most points, which is his own little point system going on. I highly recommend Lloyd's promotions, or challenges rather, I should say, because they're a lot of fun. It's just about keeping you going with your activity. You get points for doing little tiny bits of activity and posting them, and he'll keep a track of them, and you keep a track of them. And the people who get the most points at the end of it are going to qualify for Epsom long since, but they're also going to get a free spa weekend on Lloyd, which again sounds amazing. We'll go into a draw for it, I believe. So get on that if you want to. If you don't have the link for it and you want to find out more about that, please put something on one of the groups that you found the link to this call through, and I will put that on for you. Don't forget to get your kickoffs booked if you haven't already. Kickoff events happening in January around the country. They are an essential part of your annual diary, as is Express Day, which is happening in mid-March, 14th, 15th March, something like that, when this promotion ends. So, yeah. But those are the three key things. Get on Lloyd's challenge. It's a lot of fun, and it will keep your activity going. It will keep your motivation going to get that activity underway. And even, Tina, if you can't go to the Epsom day, don't write it off now. Use the team challenge, because you can still win a spa day, you know, which has got to be worth its weight in gold, especially if it's on Lloyd. Yay! So, you know, obviously we want to be going for Epsom, but maybe Epsom doesn't float your boat. Maybe Epsom doesn't appeal to you. Don't use that as an excuse to sit back on your bum and open another pack of Quality Street. Seriously, come on, let's get moving forward. Let's get involved with Lloyd's challenge, make the most of it, and just get our businesses moving forward. Because ultimately, we didn't join this business for the Epsom Derby days or the hampers or the holidays. Generally speaking, we joined this business for what it can offer us, and the added extras are just a bonus that we get on top, which is amazing. But even if we don't get it, then you'll have pushed your business forward significantly as well. So that's a massive benefit, and it will move forward a lot more than if you don't do anything at all. So there we are. I've whittled on for long enough, and I hope that's been of some benefit to you. I hope that's been of use to you all. I don't know if you got the general gist, but I'm very excited about this Epsom promotion, and I hope you are too. And I hope we're going to really get some activity moving forward as of yesterday, as of now. So any questions, please feel free to pop them on the chats. I have recorded this, so I will stick it up on the chats and on my YouTube channel so that you can all read it again or listen to it again if you want to take more notes. But yeah, it's been lovely chatting to you. It's fab to see you all on a Sunday night. We'll be back this time next week with a newbies starter call, so make sure you get your new people on the call too. And I will look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.